Hello everyone, it's Jennifer. This video is just showing some fun new products that I found. I just wanted to play with them and create a card, and I thought I'd go ahead and shoot a video while doing so. So there's no unique techniques here, but some fun products I think you'd like. Here's the card that I created. It's a floral vase, and I think these layered stamped flowers are just incredible. It's from a stamp set, so it makes it very error-proof. It's very easy to use. This is a stamp set. It's from W+9. And I love that you can stamp a series of images on top of each other and get incredible color. You can also get a die set like this that cuts all the pieces for you. So if you wanted to make a one-layer card, you could with these, but I wanted to cut them out and add dimension, and those dies make it really easy. So I went ahead and cut a bunch of the dies from white cardstock. Now I wanted to show you how these flowers kind of layer together. So I'm just using a variety of inks here. I think I'm using mostly Hero Arts inks. This is Butter Bar. I'm going to start by stamping the flowers with yellow, and I'm going to do a few while I'm at it. So you'll see I'm going to make some extra pieces that I don't actually use on the card, but since I have my stuff out, I might as well. Now this is Soft Cantaloupe, and this is a little bit smaller flowers, but notice that all the three flowers are together and they're perfectly positioned to stamp on top of the bigger flowers, which we already stamped. Now on the stamp set, all the images are positioned close together on the stamp set so you can see which go together. It's really easy to figure out. They even have these three little dots that are together on one little image, and they're perfectly positioned to stamp at the center of these three little flowers. Sorry my head gets in the way a few times here, but with these clear stamps you want to be sure to be positioned right above it so you can see right through and get perfect placement every time. Now there is even a little tiny stem that works perfectly with this little flower combo, and I'm just going to stamp it with green, and there you can see it looks like a sticker or something that you store-bought, but really you just stamp using any kind of inks that you want. I'm just grabbing whatever color inks I happen to like. Here's another flower that's very similar. It's just a single flower. I'm going to stamp with the same colors. And it's really easy to add these little guys kind of scattered on a card. I love that there's these tiny images so that you can make a kind of build up any size flower arrangement that you want. I also love that this stamp set even includes some teeny tiny things like this tiny little dot that can be stamped in the center of the flowers. I think there's a lot of things you can do with some of these tiny images also. Next, I decided to do some leaves. There's a bunch of different leaves in here, so you could do a bunch of different leaves for your flower arrangement in different shades of green. Now, if you don't have a lot of colors of inks, you could always layer different shades, or you can color your stamp with markers and stamp that way. Something else I really like about the stamp set is you've got the little veins or the little center line of the leaves, so it really adds some nice dimension. One of my favorite sets on this stamp set, this little combo of images, these look kind of like berries, or they could be buds. I decided to kind of add some blue to this, so I'm doing little berries. You can stamp these actually in any order, but I first stamped the little berries, and now I'm stamping the stems with the green. And then there's 5 little dots that fit perfectly to add little tops to the berries. Now again, you could use this as any kind of little image. This would be fun to use as holly on a holiday card even. You could stamp little red berries if you wanted to. But I love how those little dots are perfectly positioned so you can make these very quickly. Next I'm going to do a pink flower. Here I'm using some soft pink Hero Arts ink, and then I'm going to stamp bubble gum on top of it, which is a little bit darker pink. Now if you don't have colors that go together like 2 shades of pink, you could just do pink and then stamp another color like orange in the center, and it will probably blend enough to make it look okay. So try using a different combination of colors. Just use whatever you have on hand. Now for the center of this, I'm doing something a little bit different than I think was intended. Instead of 1 little dot, I'm just doing 3 little dots just to give it a bigger center. And so I think you can kind of change up what's intended and get different looks each time. For this flower, I'm using a stamped Soft Cantaloupe, which is like a light orange, and this time I'm using a Pale Tomato, which is more of a red on top of it. You can see it works out just fine. Now one of my favorite images also, besides the little berries, is this lilac image that's in here. I think this is really unique. And I'm using kind of a pinkish purple shade along with a purple shade for this. So I went ahead and stamped the first. It's kind of like the background image of these flowers. Now I'm going with the darker purple here, stamping that right on top. It lines up. I cut out little parts of that because my head gets in the way of the camera. And then, of course, it's got the little dots that all stamp on top of each other real nicely. And then the perfect little stem for this. So just by layering right on top of each other, you can see through these clear stamps perfectly. You can get this fun layered stamping that looks three-dimensional. There are several other leaf images in this set, including those little ones that I did there along with the little lines that go down the center, and then some that are a cluster of leaves. So the possibilities are endless with this guy, and I think these leaves would be fun to use along with flowers from other stamp sets too. Here I stamped the leaves with green and then did the little lines with a brown color. So really any color combos can be really quite effective on this. Next, I wanted to show you the vase that I created here. I just did this very quickly. It's a die from Memory Box, and I'm using a product from Ranger. It's a metallic sheet. It's like a sticker sheet, and I actually had a circle left over of this product, and I just stuck it onto some white cardstock and die cut it with this Memory Box vase die. So it just gives this nice metallic shine, and I thought it'd be perfect to hold all of these flowers. Now I'm just going to take some time to arrange these on my card. I'm not going to show that in the video, it's kind of boring, but I'm going to put some down with regular adhesive and some with foam dots. So you can see the fun layering that you get there. You could make this a flat card if you wanted to and use masking, but I think that die cutting each of the pieces just adds some fun dimension. Next I wanted to show you another fun product I found. It's this tiny little bow from Memory Box. It's a fun little die. I'm going to use the scrap paper here that was left over. You can see the die there on the left. I want the bow to perfectly match one of the flowers in the image, so I'm taking that pale tomato ink that I used before and I'm smearing it on both sides of this white cardstock. I couldn't find a cardstock that matched perfectly, so this is a great solution that it will perfectly match the stamping that I did on one of the flowers. So I'm going to take this and run this through my die cut machine. And these are the pieces that you get from it. 3 little pieces. It's super tiny. But once you create one of these, they're very quick and easy to do. I kind of go out of the camera here. I'm sorry, but I'll show it here in a second. I put a dot of some strong adhesive right in the center, and then I fold the 2 ends in. Now I'm going to hold this with my fingernails just for maybe 20 seconds. That'll be long enough. And you can see you get the loops of the bow. Now after that has dried, I'm going to take this tiny little piece here. You see that little piece right there? This is super tiny, I know. But if you kind of work them to be a little bit softer, kind of crease them a little bit, put some adhesive right on the center of your bow, and then just kind of wrap that little guy around it. That'll be the knot on the bow. Now this is the first time I've ever created anything with this die, and I've made more since I did this one, and it really comes together quite easily. Now there are a bunch of little bow dies like this on the market, but this is the smallest one I've seen by far, and the scale really worked well with the card that I did. So I've got that little centerpiece wrapped around, and then I'm just going to glue that onto my card with the little tail ends of the ribbon hanging out. You can see I'm just going to position it right on top of it, and you'll have a perfect little bow. I rarely use ribbon on my cards anymore because it gets smushed in the mail. I send all my cards, so a paper bow is a perfect solution. So now I also wanted to show you that I added a little bit of shine to my card. If you look at the center of these flowers, there's a little bit of shine. This is the Wink of Stella glitter marker. It goes on super smooth. Oh, sorry, my baby's hand got in the way there. She was helping me out here. And I'm just putting little dots of this fine glitter pen at the center of all the flowers. It just adds a little bit of highlighting and a little bit of fun. I also die cut and stamped a little greeting strip to go across it, a little banner. That is from Simon Says Stamp. And then I put it on an old metallic shimmer card. I think it's from Memory Box. So I just wanted to share some fun new products that I found. If you have any questions, please head over to jennifermcguireinc.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.